Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Shibaz here. In today's video, I will explain how to conduct the Kruskal-Wallis test in SPSS. We will cover that what the Kruskal-Wallis test is, when it should be used, its assumptions, how to run it in SPSS, and how to interpret and report the results. So I will also explain how to perform post-hoc pairwise comparison and calculate the effect size. By the end of this video, you should be able to conduct the complete Kruskal-Wallis age analysis independently and report your findings in a good way. So before performing the Kruskal-Wallis test in SPSS, we need to know the assumptions of this test, criteria, threshold values, and other important aspects. So we will go to our PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so welcome to Kruskal-Wallis test in SPSS. So this test basically extends rank comparison beyond two groups. So first of all, we need to compare the difference between Kruskal-Wallis test and Mann-Whitney-U test. So in the previous video, we performed the analysis using Mann-Whitney-U test where we compare the two categories. So if there are more than two categories, so I mean if there are three or more categories, so we use Kruskal-Wallis test. In this way, basically Kruskal-Wallis test is similar to ANOVA test. However, this test doesn't require the normality of the data. So that's why we use Kruskal-Wallis test to compare three or more categories. So we use it for three or more independent groups as I explained you. Grouping variable three or more unrelated categories. So it means each category should be unrelated. It means not related to each other. Outcome variable, ordinal or continuous, and research question as per our research data, because we have the data of 75 respondents. So we will measure which method is very important to satisfy the students. So you can see here, basically we group data teaching methods into three categories. Lecturer into 1, blended learning equal to 2, interactive learning equal to 3. So 1 is equal mean lecture, so physical learning. And we click on OK. Also we categorize as ordinal scale satisfaction variable. So we categorize as ordinal scale into 7. Like you can see, 1 equal to strongly dissatisfied, 2 equal to dissatisfied, 3 equal to somewhat dissatisfied, 4 equal to neutral, 5 equal to somewhat satisfied, 6 equal to satisfied, and 7 equal to strongly satisfied. So it means our research question, does at least one population tend to produce different values? So it means there are three grouping variables in our data: lectures, physical learning, blended learning, and interactive learning. So it means there should be at least one population differ from others. So for this purpose, we are going to conduct Kruskal-Wallis test. Okay, so these are the results of our test. So before discussing the results here, we need to perform the analysis in SPSS. So we go back to our data and we perform the test here. So we need to click on analyze and then go for non-parametric test and then click on legacy dialogues and then K independent samples. So on this dialog box, you will put satisfaction, which is continuous variable, in test variable list, and teaching method as independent variable, grouping variable into grouping variable. And we will assign the values like in our data, 1 minimum value was 1 and the maximum value was 3. So in this way, we will perform the analysis and see the results. So we will decide the final decision accordingly. Okay, we will click on continue, and this is default function because SPSS automatically take Kruskal Wallis each test because we are going to perform a specific test by using the test for several independent samples. Okay, now click on options. We also need descriptive statistics, and click on continue and click on OK. So we get the results here. You can see there are total 75 sample. Mean for satisfaction is 4.76 and mean for teaching method is 2. So it means there is a significant difference between the mean of both variables. As well, there are standard deviation, minimum, maximum values in both cases. The most important table is Kruskal Wallis test ranks, where you can see there is a mean rank for lectures in satisfaction is 19 and mean rank for blended learning is 38 and mean rank is 57 for interactive learning. So if you find that there is a significant difference between the mean rank of lectures, which is physical learning, and blended. As well, we see the significant difference between blended learning and interactive learning. So we can simply say that there is a significant difference of satisfaction between lectures and blended learning and between blended learning and interactive learning. So we found the difference among all three categories. Okay, so we also see the test statistics below. The chi-square value is 40.692, which is significant. So it means the p-value is 0.000 is also lower than 0.05. So in this way, we can simply say that there is a significant difference of satisfaction level between lectures learning and blended learning and interactive learning. So if we remember our question that there should at least one population mean should be differ, but here all population mean rank are different from each other. So in this way we perform Kruskal Wallis test in SPSS. Another amazing tag we are going to perform here to see the hypothesis testing, null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. So we do the Kruskal Wallis test in another way to discuss the hypothesis. So we come back to our data set and click on analyze and then click on non-parametric test and then independent samples. So it automatically compare distribution across groups. So this is default, so we choose it and we go to fields where we will put the continuous variable into test fields and the independent grouping variable in teaching methods groups. So next we go to setting and automatically choose the test based on the data. No, because we need on the Kruskal Wallis test. So we will click on customize test and we need Kruskal Wallis test. So you can click here all pairwise step by step. So you can click on any button to show the results. So but we will prefer all pairwise and then we will click test option because we are testing the 5% significance level. And user missing values, so SPSS exclude all missing value if we have in dataset, but we have no missing value. So now we will click on run. So SPSS presents the result there. So you can see there was null hypothesis that the distribution of satisfaction is the same across categories of teaching methods. So there were three categories: lecture, which was physical learning, blended learning and interactive learning. So null hypothesis. So in this case, because our significant level is 0.000, which is lower than 0.05, so it means there is a difference between the blended learning and physical lecture learning. On the other hand, between blended learning and interactive learning. So because we remember our research question, there should only at least one population mean differ from others, but here there is difference between all categories. So in this way, we reject the null hypothesis and we accept the alternative hypothesis. So alternative hypothesis states that the distribution of satisfaction is not the same across categories of teaching methods. So we simply say that the distribution of satisfaction is different among the categories of teaching methods. So if we double click on this table, we see the results here. So this is basically a different samples Kruskal Wallis test. So you can see lectures, which was physical learning, blended, a mixed one, and interactive learning. And there was total N75, test statistics 40.692, degree of freedom 2, and the test p-value is 0.00, which is lower than 0.05. So you can also see categorical field information here and continuous field information. You can see according to frequency and satisfaction level, and you can also see the pairwise comparison, so which is very important to see and interpret the findings. So basically you can see here the physical learning lectures, there was 19 mean rank, and blended learning 38, and interactive learning 57. So this was the pairwise comparison of teaching methods. So if we come here, and here we test the significant level for each category, like lecture versus blended, that test statistic is minus 19, and which is also significant. As well, between lectures and interactive learning, the test statistic is minus 38, and which is also significant. And between blended to interactive learning, test statistic is minus 19, which is also significant because the all p-values are less than 0.05. So in this case, we reject the null hypothesis, and we can say that the lecture, which was physical learning, is different from blended learning, and blended learning is different from interactive learning as per satisfaction level. So in this way, we perform the Kruskal Wallis test in both ways in SPSS. So if you find my video helpful, please like my video and click on notification button so you can get my new video easily.